What is up? What is going on, everybody? I am here with the Mariners post-game video. A win. The Mariners defeat the Cubs 5-2. As you can tell by the title, this is just now officially a Jarred Kelenic tribute fan page. And that's all we'll be talking about is how awesome the soon-to-be AL MVP Jarred Kelenic will be. No, but in all seriousness, we'll get to all of it. But man, is it so cool that Jarred Kelenic... And listen, it's 13 games. I'm not the whole body work. And when we want to see the whole body work. And when I say what I've said in the past about waiting to May, that goes for people starting off slow, and that goes for people starting off good too. I kind of want to see a month of work. But oh my gosh, is it so exciting to see Jarred Kelenic do what he is doing. One, to help the team. Two, for himself. I've meant to say it in the last couple of videos. I just forgot. I hope he slept well the last couple of days. I know the team's lost games, but he has been tremendous. It certainly has not been his fault at all. And then, today, another home run that was just the longest home run at Wrigley in the StatCast era, which goes back to 2015. The longest, I think, Mariners home run in the StatCast era by a good 12 feet over Mike Zunino. The other list, the top other four are all Mike Zunino and Nelson Cruz, and we know the light tower power those guys have. Just such a clean, easy swing. I'm going to get to the whole game, but so happy for Jarred Kelenic. Another great day, and it helped contribute to a win. And it was not a must-win. I don't think there's any must-wins in April, but a nice W for the Mariners. They salvage a 3-3 road trip. Kind of the way it started, you would have liked to have better than 3-3. And yes, there were some games in there in the middle that they probably could have, and should have won. But it is what it is. They go 3-3 on their first trip on the road. They played a really good Guardians team and an improved Cubs team. I don't think the Cubs are quite a playoff team, but they're not bad by any means. They might be kind of a 500-ish and maybe a little bit better than that team. So, a couple tough teams. Now the Mariners come home. They have a day off, which is well needed, and they get to do it with a win, which is nice. And now you face a Rockies team, and if you look at some of the pitchers they're throwing out there, it's not a very impressive group, and they just put German Marquez on the injured list. So a chance here for the Mariners now coming home for, I believe, 9. It could be 10. It could be 10 if it's 9 or 10 game homestand, and a chance to get this thing back to 500, reset themselves, and get going. So yeah, a real nice win. It wasn't just Jarred Kelenic, though, today. Got to talk about Logan Gilbert, because a much-needed start from Logan Gilbert. A tremendous start, 6 2/3, 4 hits, 1 run. It was earned, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. Not only did Logan become the first Mariners pitcher this year to pitch into the 7th inning, which I'm sure Scott Service was very happy with, and Mariners fans as well, it was also just a tremendous outing. And after, yesterday with what happened and how bad Flexen was, and how this bullpen has just been taxed on this road trip, a fantastic start from Logan. Like I said, not just for the fact that it helped the team get a W that they really needed, the fact that it helped save the bullpen. So Logan was fantastic today. Bullpen did its thing. Matt Brash got a crucial out. Didn't look like his command was great today either, but he got out of it. Justin Topa continues to look really, really strong. It's funny how last year how great this bullpen was, and you come into the year and you feel like you know all the guys there that are going to get the big outs. It's going to be Sewald, Munoz, Brash, Castillo, Festa, Murphy. I'm probably missing somebody out there, but it's going to be all those guys. We know them. This bullpen's going to be fine, and they're going to get the big outs. And we're already we're 13 games into the season, and excuse me, got hair in my mouth. That's great. That's what you guys want to see. But you got guys like Gabe Spire who have stepped up and look like they're going to be in this bullpen for a while. And you've got Justin Topa, who now comes up and looks fantastic as well to start the season. So you've got 2 guys that we didn't know much about. And again, they've pitched like 3 innings. I'm not anointing them as the new kings of the bullpen, but certainly guys that look like they're going to play a role for this team. Topa looks really good. Spire looks really good. And it's why bullpens, I talk about all the time, but why they can be here and here, you never know. We didn't expect Gabe Spire and Justin Topa to be getting crucial outs for this team. And here they are. And they look like guys that will be pitching in high leverage situations for this team, definitely going forward. So especially if Brash continues to have some of those command issues. Hopefully Munoz can get back out there. Sewald did give up the home run to Bellinger, but I thought overall he looked fine. It was just one hanging slider that Bellinger got. Other than that, Sewald was great, did his thing. Had a 4-run lead and did what he needed to do with it. As far as the offense goes, 10 hits for the Mariners, 3 walks. Thought they did a pretty nice job against Marcus Stroman, who has been fantastic to start the year. Had not given up an earned run over his first 12 innings. And I apologize. Maybe I should trim my beard there, I guess. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, Stroman's been fantastic this year. Thought the Mariners put some good at-bats on him. They had a chance to get some more runs. They had a bases-loaded situation in the third after they scored a couple runs. Kelenic struck out. It was actually a borderline pitch, but he was rung up on it. And then, Cooper Hummel didn't pick him up. And then there was in the 7th, they had a runner at third with less than 2 outs. That wasn't against Stroman, but they had a chance to add and couldn't do it. But again, Stroman's been really good this year, so I'm not going to get them. I thought they had some good at-bats against him. They put a little pressure on him. They put themselves in positions, in a position to score some runs against him, and they did. And they had a couple cross the plate, and Logan was able to match him pitch for pitch on the other side. So I'm happy with the effort they did against Stroman. Overall, Stroman today was 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 2 walks, 6 Ks. I mean, he was good. It was like Marcus Stroman wasn't at all solid today. But I thought the Mariners did just fine against him overall. Looking at the box score here, Julio was 2 for 5. Good to see Julio get a couple hits. It was a rough series for him. He was robbed of a hit in the first inning yesterday. And there was a couple others where I thought he stung the ball pretty well. But overall, good to see him finish with a couple hits, couple singles, and just getting on the action of the series. All the talk about Kelenic, and Ty France continues to mash. He was 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run scored. He had a walk in that third inning, which helped lead to the Mariners scoring a run. And then he had an RBI single in the 7th. Gino was 1 for 5 with an RBI base hit. He got the Mariners on the board in the third. So that was good. Cal Raleigh 0 for 3. He walked, which loaded the bases up for the Mariners in that third inning. Unfortunately, couldn't really capitalize after that. Teoscar Hernandez starting to heat up now. 2 for 4. He had a base hit in the third, which gave the Mariners the lead. And then he has the, Cal's walk, they did capitalize because Teoscar drove in the next run. And then he had a light tower home run. Him and Kelenic went back-to-back in the 8th inning. So let's not forget about Teoscar Hernandez. Got that average up to 216 now. Let's check his overall numbers here. 704 OPS. That's his last 7 games. So he's got slugging is, 431. So starting to pick it up a little bit. Starting to come together for Teoscar. I've talked about it. I think he's going to be streaky. I think he's going to have games where you're just like, oh my gosh, can this guy do something? We've seen some of those this year. But I also think he is going to have series where he just carries this team to some victory. So he's starting to get hot a little bit, starting to get some base hits, starting to fall in for him. I'm not worried about Teoscar Hernandez. Go back to the Mariners there. Kelenic talked that 2 for 4 with the RBI and a base hit. Mariners' first hit of the game. I think it was in the 2nd inning. And not only that, when he had that base hit, Cooper Hummel grounded out after him. Hosmer made a nice play on it. Touched the bag at first, throw to second. Good hustle by Kelenic to get in there. That could have easily been a double play, but Jared Kelenic's hustle put the Mariners in position to have a runner at second and a chance to get an RBI. So even that, little things like that he's doing, he's playing a great outfield. Listen, I say it in kind of jest about the MVP, but the way Jared Kelenic is playing, he's playing really good defense, and the way he's swinging the bat, this is an MVP candidate right now. Again, we're 13 games. Just like we don't want to get the lows, we don't want the lows to get us too low. Can't let the highs get us too high either. And I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer on Kelenic. This is fantastic. I am the fanboy in me is absolutely ecstatic right now. But let's take a deep breath. Let's just let him be solid. Let's let Jared Kelenic be good and let it play out. So, but I mean, my gosh, how cool is it that Jared Kelenic looks to be, fingers crossed here, the player we thought he could be and maybe more. Cooper Hummel 0 for 4. The DH position has been a mess for the Mariners this year. La Stella ain't the answer. Cooper Hummel, I think, has some value. He's got good positional versatility. He's a good base runner. So I think Cooper Hummel's someone that can stick on this team, but he should not be an everyday player. I think when the Mariners, I talked about it in when I did my video saying the Mariners had a good offseason. And I talked about what they were going to do at the DH spot. And, while, yes, it would have been great to go out there and just sign somebody, you look at some of the names like Josh Bell, Brandon Belt, just to name a couple, they're off to slow starts. I think getting Dylan Moore back is actually going to be a big boost to the DH position because I think Dylan Moore is very much going to be used the way, remember how the Mariners used to use, for some of you guys my age, Mark McLemore back in the day? Like, he didn't start in any position, but he played 130 games. I don't know the exact number, but he played a ton of games because he would just go everywhere around the field. Played left, right, second, first, short, third, and he'd end up making that many starts because they just moved him around. I think Dylan Moore is going to do that for the Mariners. And I think what the plan for this team was this year was Dylan Moore was going to, he'll start in right field, Teo will DH. He can even play some center. He can play left. Kelenic can play center. Julio can DH. He'll play left. Kelenic will DH. He'll play some third. Eugenio can DH. He can give J.P. Crawford a night off against lefties. He'll play short. Tom Murphy or Cal Raleigh can DH. So I think having Dylan Moore in there, I think you'll get to see what the Mariners really wanted to do with the DH role this year. And I think that was to pretty much have it as a roving position. Dylan can play some first. Ty France can DH. Stuff like that. So I think getting Dylan Moore back, and there was some talks he might be back for the homestand. So hopefully that is the case. My guess would be Tommy La Stella would be DFA'd. Here's the problem with La Stella. He's not playing anywhere defensively. I know he had some injuries. So if he's just a bat and he's not doing anything with the bat, what purpose does he serve being on the roster? Wasn't against signing Tommy La Stella. I wasn't. I didn't even mind the trade that brought Cooper Hummel over. But those guys just can't be your everyday DHs. And if La Stella can't play the field, what do you send Haggerty down? Like, Haggerty gives you tons of positional versatility, can swipe a bag for you. Cooper Hummel has at least had some good at bats. You know what I mean? Like, he's battled and done some decent things. So, I think Cooper Hummel will stick. And then another guy that I am starting to get lured about is Colton Wong, 0 for 4. And man, is he having some bad at bats. Like, he is not seeing the ball well. Like, Teoscar Hernandez has made some outs, but he's hit the ball hard. Colton Wong is not hitting the ball hard. He is swinging and missing. He looks like he's just going up there completely guessing. Some of the swings and misses are bad. Now, do I think Colton Wong is going to hit 105 all season and run out that's Cooper Hummel there. Let me go back here. Whatever it is, it's not good numbers for Colton Wong. Let's see if I can pull it up here. A 310 OPS with a 179 OBP and a 120 slugging. No, I think Colton Wong will hit better than that. But I'm a little it'll be nice to have Dylan Moore back. That's all I'm going to say. Now, unfortunately, Dylan Moore can't play every position on the field. But it will be nice to have that back. But yeah, not a great start for Colton Wong. Again, the winning kind of gloss over it, but yeah, not a good start for him. JP, 1 for 3, a double and a walk, just like he did yesterday. I'm totally fine with that from JP. If he can occasionally hit one into the gap, help leg one out, especially with Julio and Ty France and Gino and all those guys coming up on deck, perfect. He does a nice job working the count and can take his walks occasionally. That's totally fine. I think JP's off to a nice start this year. I really do. I know that sounds maybe crazy. He's been fine. I have no problem with what J.P. Crawford has given this team so far. If you're expecting a lot more, I think he can be a little better. I think he'll hit better than 209. I think some singles and stuff will bloop in there for him here eventually. But I've been totally fine with what JP has given them this season. So a real nice win for the Mariners. It was not a must win, but, to salvage the final game in this road trip, make it a 3-3 trip, get it back to even a little bit here. And now you go home 5-8. And if you can sweep the Rockies, and certainly nothing is guaranteed in this league, you're back to 500. So a chance for this team to kind of get going now. So they've got to feel pretty good about getting that W. And, was 3-3 the road trip we wanted? You know what? Before it started, I probably would have signed up for 3-3, honestly. Any road trip that you're playing a team that is a playoff team and is likely going to be there in Cleveland, and a Cubs team that's made some nice improvements and is certainly, an okay ball club. Yeah, I would have signed up for 3-3. Am I going to sign up for 3-3 in the Oakland-Detroit road trip? No, probably not. I'd probably want 4-2 there at least. But if you can kind of break even on the road, you're okay. They now come back home. Let's get some W's rolling here and hopefully can get it going. The road trip feels like it was a little tough at 3-3 because of how it started at 2-0, and then those 3 straight losses were all brutal losses. But overall, flip them around, and you would be fine with this road trip. So it's a decent road trip when it's all said and done. So some good vibes coming from this team. Still some work to do. Marco, Kirby, and Castillo will go, in the series against the Rockies. So hopefully those guys can lock things down and help win that series. Jared Kelenic really is the main story, I think, for the Mariners. His development and him taking that next step is so important for this team, not only for what they want to do now, but for the future. And to have him and Julio, at the same time succeeding would just be, I know Mariners fans know what I'm getting at here. Just an organization that's had some tough time with some prospects in the past. There's the Dustin Ackleys that failed. Jesus Montero, who was more of a Yankees prospect, but you know what I'm getting at. The injuries that Paxton went through and Taijuan Walker, they certainly weren't busts by any means, but, never really got to maybe see the full potential there. We can go back even further to the Ryan Andersons, the Jeremy Reeds that came up, through the system a little bit, the Travis Blackleys and stuff like that. Now, Felix Hernandez, Griffey, A-Rod, so the Mariners got their fair share of great prospects, but I think you guys know what I'm getting at here. Nice win for the Mariners. They improved to 5-8. I should be back tomorrow. I will be able to do a series preview for the Rockies since there's that day off. I just wasn't able to get one up for the Cubs. I didn't have enough time between Easter and then back to work on Monday. I just didn't have time to get a series preview for the Cubs series up, but I will have one up tomorrow for the Colorado Rockies. Go M's, as always, and I will see you guys next time. Please hit the sub button, hit the like button, helps me out a whole bunch. Thank you to everybody supporting me so far, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.